The franchise disclosure document is presented as consumer protection. In practice, it is a map of power. If you are considering a franchise, you are told that the FDD exists to inform you. Hundreds of pages. Legal disclosures, financial exhibits, warnings and capital letters. The assumption is that risk is transparent and that informed consent protects you. That assumption is only partially true. The franchise disclosure document does not equalize power between franchisor and franchisee. It documents power asymmetry, and unless you know where to look, it does so quietly. To understand why so many franchisees are surprised by how constrained they become, we have to examine 3 areas most applicants skim or misunderstand: Item 19, Item 7, and the termination and renewal clauses. Start with Item 19. Item 19 is where financial performance representations may appear, not must appear, may. Franchisors are not required to provide earnings data. Many do not. When they do, the information is narrow, carefully framed, and legally defensive. Item 19 might show average gross sales. It may show top quartile performers. It may show selected locations that meet specific criteria. What it almost never shows is net income, owner compensation, or cash flow after debt service. Even when numbers are provided, they are descriptive, not predictive. The franchisor is telling you what some operators achieved under certain conditions, not what you will achieve. The disclaimer is explicit. Results are not guaranteed. Performance varies. Your experience may differ. From an institutional perspective, Item 19 is not a profit promise. It is a liability shield. It allows the franchisor to say, "We disclose something," without committing to outcomes. Meanwhile, the franchisee is often underwriting the business based on optimistic interpretations of incomplete data. The structural imbalance is this: the franchisor has system-wide performance visibility. The franchisee sees a curated slice. Now move to Item 7. Item 7 lists the initial investment required to open the franchise. This is usually where reality first deviates from expectation. Item 7 includes ranges, build-out costs, equipment, inventory, training, working capital, fees paid to the franchisor, fees paid to approved vendors. What Item 7 rarely captures fully is variance risk. Construction costs fluctuate, lease terms vary, municipal requirements differ, delays burn cash, working capital assumptions are optimistic. More importantly, Item 7 is only the entry cost. It does not capture the capital required to survive underperformance. It does not capture the cost of compliance upgrades, remodel mandates, technology updates, or system-wide changes imposed later. The franchisee bears these costs. The franchisor does not. This creates a leverage imbalance. Once the franchisee has sunk capital into a location, they are exposed. The investment is illiquid. The brand is owned by someone else. The exit options are limited. At this point, the franchise relationship changes, which brings us to termination and renewal clauses. These are often buried deep in the agreement, cross-referenced, technical, and rarely negotiated. Termination clauses specify how the franchisor can end the relationship: breach of standards, failure to meet operational requirements, late payments, failure to comply with system changes. Many of these breaches are subjective. Brand standards evolve. Operational manuals are updated unilaterally. What was compliant last year may not be compliant today. The key issue is discretion. The franchisor typically retains broad discretion to determine compliance. The franchisee's remedy is limited. Arbitration clauses restrict litigation. Venue clauses favor the franchisor's home jurisdiction. Renewal clauses look benign until you read the conditions. Renewal is often not automatic. It may require signing the then current franchise agreement, not the one you originally agreed to. That new agreement may include higher fees, stricter controls, or less favorable terms. In other words, even if you perform well, your future participation depends on continued acceptance of evolving constraints. This is the core power imbalance. The franchisee owns the labor, the local execution, and the financial risk. The franchisor owns the brand, the rules, and the continuation decision. The FDD discloses this. It does not prevent it. From an institutional design perspective, franchising is not a partnership of equals. It is a governance structure designed to scale a brand while retaining centralized control. The franchise disclosure document is not there to make you safe. It is there to make the franchisor compliant. Understanding this does not mean franchising is inherently bad. It means the decision must be analyzed correctly. Franchise success depends less on optimism and more on tolerance for constraint. You are not buying a business in the traditional sense. You are buying a conditional operating license inside a controlled system. Item 19 tells you how the system can perform. Item 7 tells you what it costs to enter. The termination clauses tell you who ultimately controls your fate. If you misread any of these, the risk is not that the business fails. It is that you succeed on paper while losing autonomy, flexibility, and exit leverage. That is how people are ruined without being defrauded. The franchise disclosure document does not hide this outcome. It documents it, but only if you know where to look. For continued institutional analysis of contracts, governance structures, and incentive design, subscribe.